Chapter 439. The 31st City. This chapter is updated by Novels.pl. A divine altar of up to 330 meters tall was built in the underground of the Sword Sanctum. It was cylindrical and majestic, and it constantly radiated white holy light. The Jade Saint walked to the bottom of the divine altar. He pushed the air gently with his hand, urging a stream of wind. The wind enveloped the 50 kilograms of black glazed spinel and made them fly up from the ground to the top of the altar. The woman with white hair proudly stood in the center of the altar. She stretched out her snow-white fingers to catch the black glazed spinel through the air. She struck the black glazed spinel into the good luck sword which was floating in the air. Swoosh! The good luck sword absorbed the black glazed crystals, and it began to repair slowly as if it got a new source of life. Jade Saint said, "Divine Ancestor, Zhang Yuochen is at the Sword Sanctum. Do you want to meet him? Perhaps you can confirm his identity now." The woman with white hair opened her beautiful eyes and meditated for a moment. Then she said, "Not for the time being. After the good luck sword is completely repaired, I will definitely go to meet him." Somehow, her heart was wavering. She had not had this feeling for a long time. Jade Saint nodded his head and did not further ask any questions. After leaving the Foreign Affairs Hall, Zhang Yuochen went to visit the current master of the Sword Sanctum, Lu Chongqing. However, he was told that the life sword had not been completely repaired, and it would be returned to him personally after the sword is repaired. Zhang Yuochen did not think too much of it. He left the Sword Sanctum in that afternoon and decided to go to the 31st City. What does the place that mercenaries gather look like? Lu Yukai says that he has arranged a trusted person to pick me up in the 31st City. Hopefully, I can hire a superior who can kill the Blood Spirit Queen as soon as possible. Zhang Yuochen thought. Only by killing Blood Spirit Queen could Zhang Yuochen focus on other things. Blood Spirit Queen was like a knife that was always hanging above his head. He did not know when the knife would suddenly drop and behead Zhang Yuochen. Soon after leaving the Sword Sanctum, Zhang Yuochen had an ominous premonition. He felt a pair of eyes was staring at him from behind. Does the person of the Sword Sanctum want to take away the 360 million pieces of spiritual crystals from me? Zhang Yuochen thought. After all, Zhang Yuochen was also a saint of the Saint Academy now. Did the Sword Sanctum dare to kill a saint in the East Region Saint City? Zhang Yuochen released his spiritual power and dispersed it to explore the superior behind him. But at this very moment, a stroke of dangerous aura came from behind and got closer and closer. He could faintly sniff a smell of blood from behind. This is bad. It's the Blood Spirit Queen. Zhang Yuochen felt Blood Spirit Queen's aura, and his face changed greatly. He immediately activated the power of the martial soul. There was a light column dashing out of his head. A giant vortex which centered on the light column appeared and absorbed the spiritual chi of heaven and earth into his body. Suddenly, Zhang Yuochen's aura increased to the fish-dragon realm. Oh woo! Zhang Yuochen's body was wrapped up by a layer of golden light. Resounding a dragon's roar, his body quickly rushed out forward like a comet. At this moment, he heard loud sound that was coming from behind. A huge blood-red palm print struck at the position where Zhang Yuochen was just at and made a large crater with a diameter of more than 10 meters in the ground. The surrounding grounds were also cracked. If Zhang Yuochen reacted a little more slowly, the palm would have hit him. About 30 meters behind Zhang Ruken, there were circles of water wave-like ripples appeared on the originally transparent void. A streak of spiritual blood flew out from the center of the ripples and condensed into the body of Blood Spirit Queen. Blood Spirit Queen showed cold and murderous eyes. She chased after Zhang Yuochen. Zhang Yuochen regarded her as the enemy who must be killed. She wanted to kill Zhang Yuochen badly too. Zhang Yuochen, are you still going to run away today? Hand over the Half-Saint's Light and the Holy Meteorite Sutra, and I will spare your life. Blood Spirit Queen said and trembled in rage. Every one of her bloody hair was standing up. Although Blood Spirit Queen had already lost the Half-Saint's Light, her cultivation had reached the 6th change of the Fish-Dragon realm. Therefore, the speed of her movements were terrifyingly fast. In a flash, she was behind Zhang Yuochen, and her arms swiveled in a circle. She used the spiritual blood to condense a sharp blood sword. With a swooshing sound, She stabbed toward the center of Jiang Yuochen's back. Jiang Yuochen used the spiritual power to the extreme. When Blood Spirit Queen pulled out her sword, he immediately changed his position and moved more than 20 meters to the left. Swoosh! When Blood Spirit Queen missed her first strike, she immediately struck out the second sword. The third sword. The sword breaths swept towards Jiang Yuochen like endless ocean waves. Out. A light spot appeared on Jiang Yuochen's glabella. He quickly applied the Violet Thunder Sword and utilized the sword defending technique. The Violet Thunder Sword flew out of Jiang Yuochen's storage ring and made a thunderbolt and lightning sound. Like a streak of light, it attacked the Blood Spirit Queen from about 30 meters away. A blood-red sword radiance and a purple thunderbolt light ceaselessly crashed in the air, sending out sword-clashing sounds. Jiang Yuochen's strength actually increased so much in the past few days. Blood Spirit Queen was very shocked and had to re-evaluate Jiang Yuochen's potential. Although Jiang Yuochen was still far from being her opponent, if Jiang Yuochen continued to make an improvement, it would not be long before he could completely surpass her. Finally, Jiang Yuochen saw a row of navy blue walls appear in front of him, as if there was a big dragon lying on the horizon. Above the city gate, there were 4 ancient words. The 31st city. Jiang Yuochen was overjoyed that he finally arrived at the major city of the 31st city. If he could escape to the major city, he would survive. No matter how high was Blood Spirit Queen's cultivation, she dared not to kill anyone in the major city. Blood Spirit Queen was determined to kill Jiang Yuochen, so she naturally would not let Jiang Yuochen escape into the major city. Her body turned into a cloud of blood fog and divided into 6 strokes of spiritual blood. They quickly flew out and rushed to the front of Jiang Yuochen and stopped him. Die. Blood Spirit Queen extended a jade white finger. Her sharp fingernail was like the tip of a sword and it suddenly stabbed out, hitting toward Jiang Yuochen's glabella. Jiang Yuochen immediately recalled the Violet Thunder Sword and blocked her strike. Peng! Blood Spirit Queen's finger hit the center of the blade of the Violet Thunder Sword. The powerful sword breath converged into a point, forming an overwhelming power. 3 layers of light immediately emerged around Jiang Yuochen's body, which respectively showed blue, golden and white color. The blue light was his celestial body shield. The golden light was the Dragon Pearl's power of protection. The white light was the defensive breath of the Half-Saint's light. Even if Jiang Yuochen had 3 layers of body light, he still suffered a heavy blow. He flew backward like a stringless kite. If there was a big disparity between 2 people's cultivation, no matter how many treasures one had, it would be useless. Blood Spirit Queen wanted to attack again to completely break through Jiang Yuochen's defense and kill him outside of the 31st city. A sharp voice came from still distant 31st city. How dare a blood spirit commit murder in East Region Saint City? A man in white armor rushed out of the 31st city. In a flash, he rushed to the front of Blood Spirit Queen and struck out one palm. His palms were as white as jade. His fingers were long and thin, and his hands were more beautiful than a woman's. However, the power contained in his palm was terrifying. He pushed back the Blood Spirit Queen with just one move. Blood Spirit Queen viciously spared a glance at the man in white armor. He hummed coldly, "Mind your own business. Do you want to die?" Blood Spirit Queen clenched his 5 fingers into a fist and struck out. The spiritual blood rushed out and formed a huge fist shadow. Boom! The man in white armor strode forward, clawed the shadow into pieces. Subsequently, his claws quickly turned into palms and sliced down, hitting toward Blood Spirit Queen's neck. Blood Spirit Queen also swung her arm and chopped toward the man. Pow! They both stepped backward at the same time. Jiang Yuochen, I'll let you go today. Next time, you won't be so lucky. Blood Spirit Queen unwillingly spared a glance at Jiang Yuochen, and she turned into a stroke of spiritual blood, went underground, and disappeared from their sight. The man in white armor chased after her, but he was still 1 step behind. So Blood Spirit Queen escaped. What a powerful blood spirit. It has the potential to become a half-cent of the blood spirit. The man in white armor showed a dignified face and stomped his feet on the ground. The ground slightly shook. Jiang Yuochen walked over to the man and cupped his hands. "Thank you for your help." The man in white armor turned around and stared at Jiang Yuochen. He said, I am the deputy commander of the Silver Sky Mercenary Group, Nihonglu. Are you Zhang Yuochen? Nihonglu was very proud when he spoke his name because his name had infinite honor, which was more important than his life. Zhang Yuochen was slightly astonished. He said, "How do you know my name?" Nihonglu smiled and said, "Among the geniuses of the new generation, probably only you can display the sword defending technique. Besides, people in the Sword Sanctum have told me that you will come to the 31st city." When I was talking with him, I saw a man outside the city was being hunted down. Any man with brain can guess the person is you. Zhang Yuochen said, "I see. Are you the superior that Sword Sanctum helped me to contact?" After that battle, Zhang Yuochen was quite satisfied with Nihonglu's strength. After all, Blood Spirit Queen reached the 6th change of the Fish Dragon realm by blending the Half-Saint's light. Her strength was much stronger than that of the average monk in the 6th change of the Fish Dragon realm. Nihonglu was also in the 6th change of the Fish Dragon realm, but he was capable of defeating the Blood Spirit Queen. Thus, his talent was also quite high and he was not an ordinary mercenary. Nihonglu said with a smile, "Let's go in the city first, then we will talk business. The person in charge of the Sword Sanctum is still waiting for us in the city." After Zhang Yuochen and Nihonglu walked into the 31st city, a streak of spiritual blood appeared from the underground and silently sneaked into the 31st city.